Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for being here at the ACLU Conference and Lobby Day. Welcome. This is easily one of my favorite, if not my favorite, activity that we do in the course of the work of the ACLU, and there's a few reasons for why this event is so important. The first is that we have here people from throughout the region of Northern California that we work in, and this is a chance that we have to really spend some time together, getting to know each other, learning about the laws that we're trying to change and affect, and learning from the lessons and the experiences that each of us brings to the table. So it's very exciting for having the time to spend together, to learn, to work together, and to move our work forward. So I'm Abdi Soltani. I'm the Executive Director of the ACLU of Northern California, and it's my pleasure to be part of this community that includes ACLU members, ACLU board members, our community partners, our chapters, all of us coming together to make a difference for every person's rights. So let me start by asking a question. How many of you, is this your first time coming to an ACLU conference or event or activity? So let's have you please stand up. All of you who are coming to your first ACLU conference or event. Now let me see a show of hands for how many of you have been involved in ACLU civil rights work, let's say for 3 to 5 years or 2 to 5 years. Raise your hands. Now let me get a little other sampling. How many of you have been involved in the ACLU for longer than I've been alive, which is 37 years old? So if you could stand up and let's recognize our veterans. So that's one of the things that I love about this organization, is that we have the benefit of working with those of you who might be in high school or college students. You are you're not the next generation, you're today's generation of leaders, and we have the benefit of having your knowledge, your experience of what's happening in your schools, in your colleges, in your communities. But we also have the benefit of the experience that comes from people who have been working on civil rights issues literally for decades. And we have that combination, that strength that comes from our generations working together. The other thing that's very exciting today is we have a lot of people here from California's Great Central Valley. And that is a very important region because there's a lot of important civil rights work happening in Stockton, in Modesto, in Merced, in Fresno, and in all the towns in and around each of those places. We just finished the first leg of our 20 city campaigns for justice tour, and we were in each of those cities: Fresno, Merced, Stockton, Modesto. We were in Sacramento, Davis. I saw those of you who are from Sonoma and Santa Rosa, from San Jose. And in each community, we're learning about the severity of the civil rights problems that we're each facing. But we're also finding the commonality that the problems that we learned about in Modesto and in Stockton were frankly not that different than what we were hearing about in East Palo Alto. East Palo Alto is a town with a great deal of poverty, but also a great deal of strength in the people in that community who are fighting to make change. But it's in the middle of Silicon Valley, with the greatest wealth on the planet is concentrated probably right there in that area outside of Silicon Valley. And there you had people of East Palo Alto telling us about unlawful traffic stops and the harassment of immigrants by police and kids being pushed out of school in the school-to-prison pipeline. And those are very similar to the stories that we heard when we were in Stockton and in Modesto and in Fresno, where on the other hand, we don't have the greatest wealth on the planet. You know, we have unemployment rates that are 50%. We have a foreclosure crisis that's devastating whatever assets and wealth that people had. So that's what I want to really kind of come back to as the theme of this conference, is how do we work together in these communities that are very diverse throughout our region to exercise the power that we have using our free speech rights, our free association rights to affect change and advance people's equality and freedom and liberty. So it's very exciting to be here and to see so many of you. But I want to highlight a couple of groups that are here that I'm very excited about. One is the Brothers of NAK. I can't do the Greek letters. What is it? Nu Alpha Kappa? So let's have you stand up for a second. We're very excited to have you here. So my coworker Layla and I, we were at Cal State Stanislaus doing outreach, and we came across your picnic table that had your letters. We're looking forward to a long partnership with your group, us with the resources that the ACLU can bring, and you with the resources you can bring. I'm very confident we're going to make a lot of positive change in the communities in and around Modesto. Another group that's here that I've just walked in is the Merced Community College Students for Social Justice. I saw you all just come in, right?
We're hiding.
Let's have you stand up for a second if you could. So that's another community, Merced, where there's a great deal of work we can get done together, and we're just delighted that you're here. And I could go on like that. We're just really excited to have all of you here, and we're really looking forward to this conference. So just by way of a few quick highlights, we're going to have some great workshops. In the workshops, we're going to learn about what's happening in the law, but we're also going to learn about what we're going to do together to change things in our communities. So each workshop is a great chance for us to learn and strategize. And then tomorrow we're going to really be preparing for the lobbying. And on Monday, we'll actually go to the legislature and lobby on several bills and issues. And the ones that we're focused on, the first is Seth's Law, which is dealing with discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender youth, and making sure that we set up some stronger protections against the harassment and bullying that young people face in our schools. Seth Walsh is one of a young boy who, unfortunately, despite all of the love and care of his family, because of the amount of harassment that he faced in his school, he took his own life and committed suicide. And we're working with Seth's mom, Wendy Walsh, to change the rules and the practices of our schools to make sure that every child has a safe learning environment. A second issue that we'll be working on when we're doing our lobbying is to change the drug laws in our state. In the back of the room you see a prison, and there's bags of money in that prison. And it's California's drug sentencing laws that are contributing to that problem. We're sending people to state prison for simple possession of drugs. And that has a horrible effect not only on their lives, but also on their whole community. Their children, their family members. But each one of those people also costs us as taxpayers $45,000 that could be paying the tuition of a number of students to go to Cal State or UC or a community college campus. So we'll be taking that message to the legislature to change the law so that simple possession of drugs would be treated as a misdemeanor that could be dealt with locally in the county rather than something to send people to state prison. And then the third one is really looking forward to being really proactive around protecting people's information and privacy online. So we'll be dealing with the issue of digital privacy. When any of us goes to the library and check out a book, the book that we're reading is our private, personal information. And there have been many times in the history of this country where that kind of information was used to put people on lists, like during the McCarthy era, when people would lose their jobs, and their livelihoods and be put in prison because of what books they were reading. And that's what we're seeing now with these hearings against Muslims. So we want to make sure that the idea that people can choose the book of their choice, that continues to be private, that it doesn't lead to your being surveilled or lose your job or things of that sort. So we're working to protect and update those privacy laws so that the books we read on the internet would have the same standard of privacy as the book you would have checked out of the library. So those are the 3 issues we'll be lobbying on Monday. So I want to just say a couple of words of thanks. The first is to all of the ACLU of Northern California staff who've worked to put together this conference. And it's our organizing and community engagement department especially that takes the lead in planning this event. So I want to thank them, but all of the staff who help contribute and make this event possible. I also want to recognize that in the coming years, this event will turn more and more into a statewide ACLU of California event. I'm delighted to welcome Hoon Tang, who's the field director of the ACLU of San Diego and Imperial County. Tomorrow we'll be joined by Clarissa Wu, who's one of the staff at the ACLU of Southern California. And beginning next year, we expect this event will have a lot more of activists and leaders of the ACLU from chapters and community groups in Southern California as well. So that's a signal for the future that we'll see more people, but really turning this into more of a statewide gathering. And then I also want to thank the staff of the hotel who make this event possible. They're incredibly hardworking, they're very gracious people. And we're living in a time where there's a real assault on workers and working families and the right of people to have unions. So we want to just be really gracious and thank the staff. They prepare the food, they prepare the facility, they prepare the rooms. So we just want to thank the staff of this hotel for making our event possible as well. So now we're going to share this welcome what's great about this event is it's both ACLU staff but also members and community members who come together. And I want to acknowledge and thank Christopher Berrien, who is going to be sharing this welcome with you. Christopher is a member of the ACLU of Sacramento chapter board. And he's also been a terrific advocate in the My ACLU campaign, which is our new membership recruitment campaign. You'll all hear more about that. But the core of the My ACLU campaign is if you sign up 10 new people to join the ACLU and they give their membership dues of $20 or more a year, then you'll receive a $100 scholarship and a $100 grant for a community group of your choice. And if you don't need the scholarship, then you can double the grant. So Christopher has really embraced this campaign. He's a terrific leader in his local ACLU chapter, and we want to welcome Christopher to also welcome you. So thank you, everybody.